friends, welcome back to Fish Poppy Farm. Today we're in the home garden. I've been doing some work to get this bed all set up. So we've got cardboard in the bottom. Dylan, thank God for Dylan, helped me empty 6 bags of potting raised bed mix in here. 6 times 2, 18, so it's 18 cubic feet of potting. 18 cubic feet of raised bed mix is in here. Now all I need to do is run the irrigation that's already existing out here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it on the ends here. There's 4 lines. Run a non-drip 1/4 inch tube up and then attach them, the drip parts, here, and then do the non-drip on the other side so it connects and continues on down to the bed over there, which is already on irrigation. So I just need to get my pieces and parts together. We will set up this irrigation and then I'll show you what I'm going to direct sow in here. Okay, so hopefully you can see there are 4 lines on the bed, and like I showed you, I just put elbows on the ends. This tube that runs down has no emitters on it, so it's still got emitters in the ground, and then it's got emitters in this bed, then it's no drip tubing, and then drip tubing again. I hadn't planned on setting this bed up, but I started thinking about it. And since so much stuff has been eaten in the garden, I mean, the tomatoes are getting annihilated, you guys, even the green ones. So I think I'm trying to rig them up high, but I'm thinking I might end up having to harvest all of the green ones just because the rats are getting them. Every morning I come out and there's chomps out of more tomatoes. The only things in the garden that haven't been touched are this round bed. There's a couple peppers in there. There's some straw flowers in there and a melon, a watermelon. They haven't gone in there yet because it's got netting on it. And this bed that we planted, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. It was before I went to Tahoe. So yeah, 2.5 weeks ago. The beans are coming up. I can't even remember what else we planted. I know okra and something else. Kohlrabi. Those are all germinated and coming up and they look great and nothing has gotten in here so far. So I'm going to do the same thing with this other bed that we just filled and got rigged with irrigation. Oh, also the corn bed that's up in the wooden raised bed garden. The corn is all germinated. It looks great. It's a foot tall, and it's starting to hit the roof of the netting, the hoop and netting. So I have a plan for that. And it's pretty extreme. Like I normally wouldn't do this, but I want corn. So I have 4 foot tall 1/2 inch hardware cloth. Again, something they cannot go through. It's the same thing I used on the bottom of these beds. I am going to use T-posts inside the beds, the 4 corners, and I'm literally going to rig up a cage 4 foot high around the corn because I want the corn to be able to grow. Yes, they can climb that cage if they want to. I am going to put a netting on top to keep the birds out as well. And we'll see what happens. Um, Again, when there's still easy pickings elsewhere, they'll go to that stuff. So now in this bed, what are we going to do? So normally I would not even think of planting these three crops that I'm about to show you in late July, early August. That would be insanity. But it's not normally. Like I said before, we've had a really cold summer. Um, the coldest one since 1965, actually. And there's no real change on the horizon. Now, today it is 80 degrees Fahrenheit. That is about 20 degrees Fahrenheit less than what it normally is in this time of July. So, and looking out ahead, it's actually going to get cool again. Like tomorrow, the high is 69 Fahrenheit. And then we're going to be in the low 70s for the whole first 10 days of August. It's crazy. So I'm going to lean into that. And I have some fall, winter crops here. Normally I have a hard time growing in this garden in the winter because it is so shaded at that point with the sun being so low. And also all these trees that are next to the garden, we're going to have to cut them back because next year it'll be really hard. It's already, this garden only gets about 6.5 hours of sun a day now. That's struggling for a lot of these things. So in this bed, we are going to put some fall veggies, and I'm hoping that with these cool temperatures that they'll germinate and they will actually produce for us before it gets too dark out here in late October. So what do we've got? We've got Touchstone Gold beets. I'm going to direct sow all of these. Rainbow chard and solstice broccoli. This is 70 days to maturity, so plenty of time in the season. Now it's highly possible that we'll get a heat wave because, we haven't had one yet, and that seems very strange. Sometimes September and October are our hottest months of the year, so we'll see. But if it bolts, it bolts. I'm going to give it a try because I figure seed is cheap. What do we got to lose? So I'm going to sow, I think, probably 2 rows of beets and a row of chard and a row of broccoli. Okay, you could bounce a penny off of this. It is tight. Now, I also rolled up the edges and tucked everything in. I really won't need to access this bed at all until everything germinates and it starts to produce, and I may have to add fertilizer or whatever. So I made sure it was really tight down. Nothing's going to bother this for a while because nothing will be growing for a little while, but you know, I I just wanted to get a jump start because sometimes when there's brand new soil, they want to investigate it, and I don't want to let them. So, update, the irrigation guy came out today. They're actually going to open up our driveway and run, reconnect the line. And while it's open, we're going to put in conduit so that we can run lights because we would like to run lights down here for nighttime. So all of that will get done, I think, the week of the 11th. Um, but in the meantime, the fix that we have going is working. And so we'll just keep doing it this way. Uh, the irrigation's working. That's all that matters right now. But they will take care of that bypass and get it all fixed up for us. Also, met with the rodent control people yesterday. They are going to come, well, they set out a bunch of snap traps yesterday in the greenhouse. Um, and so far, nothing, but also that rat chewed through the wire for the camera, so I have no camera out there anymore. Smart little bugger. Anyway, um, they are going to come and put snap trap stations out here. They're basically really big boxes with lots of snap traps um, in them. And I could make those, I've seen those before. But again, the cost of how much I've been spending is like double what we're paying these guys to do per month. And it's somebody else doing the work. And it's great. So in the interim, they're not going to be able to make it out to do that until next Monday. Um, they, so in the interim, I've been using my old fashioned snap traps that I have out here, which they were like, we don't really like to use snap traps in the open because it can catch other animals. And they're exactly right. I've caught a bird in there once and I was really upset about that. So that's why they make those boxes. But I've been using my granulated rodent repels all. It works a little bit, but when you're overrun like this, even the things like peppermint oil and stuff like that kind of don't work anymore. So they're going to help us get the population completely under control. They're going to do exclusion under our house because we have a lot of them under our house. That's the other thing he did yesterday is crawl under our house and put a bunch of traps down there as well, snap traps down there. And I actually heard a couple go off last night. So the nice thing is they come back and take care of that for us. We don't have to go down there in that horrible crawl space to do that. So yeah, getting things done, getting things dealt with, which is great. I am feeling a lot better today. Yesterday was a terrible day. It was a really high pain day, and by nighttime, I was to that point where I was like, maybe I should go to the ER, see what they can do for me there. But I didn't. I took more of my prescription medication, which was like, well, you know what? I don't care right now about overuse, medication overuse headache because I'm in so much pain. It took 2 doses, but it did finally knock it back enough for me to sleep. And then I woke up this morning and I still have the headache, but it's very mild today. So I feel good about that. I did ask my neurologist. I told her, look, I took more than you're supposed to in a 30-day period. And she said, that is fine on these like occasional bad months. She's like, we will only worry about overuse of those medications when it's multiple months in a row where you're just taking them constantly. So that made me feel better about the choice I made last night because that was the only way I got any sleep. So hopefully things will continue to improve. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Mike and I are going into the city all 3 days to Golden Gate Park for a festival there. It's not really a festival. It's Dead and Company. I'm not a big Grateful Dead fan, but Mike loves them. And the main reason we're going is because Billy Strings is opening on Friday afternoon and Sturgill Simpson opens on Saturday afternoon. I really want to see both of those guys. The Dead will be fine, but I'm not as excited about that. Anyway, I would really like to not be in bad pain for those shows, especially Billy Strings. Really, really want to see him. So I'm glad that I can take my Tripton and not have to worry that it's going to make things worse. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. Still trying to really take it easy on these days that I feel better so that tomorrow is not a terrible day. Um, but we really do need to get out to the farm and take care of the out of control weeds. And I have a fun little event that I'm going to do this weekend. It's not even an event for me. A customer asked if they want 10 bud vases of wildflowers for a thing they're doing on Saturday. So I'll be putting those together. We'll harvest those on Thursday. I'll put them together and then he'll come pick them up on Friday morning. So that'll be fun. It'll be a nice use of like some of the beautiful shorter stem things out there that will get longer as the season goes on, like Lisianthus and stuff that is kind of perfect size for bud vases, but not great for market bouquets. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I look forward to seeing you back here, hopefully tomorrow. Take care. Bye.